Hey class, welcome to Introduction to Business class. Today I'm doing a home video because I'm feeling not feeling kind of ill today, so I'm gonna go ahead and videotape our presentation today. So today on our lesson plans, we're gonna be focusing on our once their discussions are over, we're gonna go ahead and have you guys do your bell ringer activity, which is on page 11 in your textbooks, and then working on the development concepts on the main idea, which is also on page 11. So once this is all lectures done, you can start working on that, or you can take it home as homework. So today's lecture, today we are gonna discuss business economic concepts. Um, and the business activities. So basic economic concepts is needs versus wants, which is this is section 1, section 1.2. If you need to review section 1.1, go ahead and go back to refer back to it. But today, what we're going to learn today is the differences between needs and wants, how resources limited the number of wants people and businesses can supply, the decision-making process, how profit and competition motivates business, different business activities, and how business impacts you and how you will impact business. I will have these PowerPoint slides once I get back and upload onto the website. And you can have it as notes. Um, First of all, needs versus wants. Wants and needs determine what product and services business provide. Need, something you must have to survive. Examples, food, water, clothing, shelter. Versus a want is something you desire or would like to have or do. Examples are mountain bike, a new iPod, or a new car. So what are yours? Make a list. And we'll get further to that again. We'll review this all over again once I get back to class. Next is satisfying wants and needs. The goal of business is to provide goods and services to satisfy wants and needs. Goods are physical products. Services takes that business perform for consumers. Resources. Resource items that people can use to make or obtain certain needs and wants. Limit the ability or the ability to satisfy all needs and wants. Unlimited resources. And take a look at your list, which we'll review back later. And then why don't you buy all of your wants? Why don't you buy all of your wants? And we'll get further in discussion to that once I get back. So the steps of the decision-making process is identifying the situation, identifying possible courses of action, determine pros and cons, which, let's refer back to this again. Okay, the decision-making process. Identify the situation. What are you trying to decide? Number 2, identify possible courses of action. Consider your alternatives. Number 3, determine pros and cons. Compare and evaluate your choices. Number 4, make a decision. Rank alternatives and choose one. And number 5, evaluate your decision. Did you achieve the desired results? And then like I said, this is just going to, I'm just trying to introduce this topic to you. That way the sub will have something, either you can watch this during the class or just work on the assignments when the sub is there today. Otherwise, we will you can watch this video at home, and then we can just go back and refer and do a refresher course when I get back. What is business? Business, any common commercial activity that seeks profit by providing goods and services to others in exchange for money. Profit, money left over after a business has paid the cost of providing its goods and services. Your goal is to make a profit, and that's your ending goal. Once you start a business, you want to make a profit. And if you don't make a profit, then you didn't succeed. Okay, so your significance of competition. Competition is the contest between businesses to win customers. Companies have the freedom to produce what they feel is more profitable. And the question is, what are certain companies that compete against each other? Well, with some companies against, it'd be like maybe Apple versus Android. That would be a possible company that are competing against each other. Competition. America's economy is based on freedom and voluntary exchanges. Buyers find that but the best performances, competition. American economy is based on freedom and voluntary exchange. Buyers find the best products at the lowest price. To successfully compete, global companies must offer the following: quality products, outstanding services, competitive prices. Business activities, identifying opportunities on how, evaluate the demand of how, obtain money, startup money and operating capital, manage the production of goods and services, market the products and market the goods and services, and keep records because government requirements improve process. Market research. Market research is an act of gathering and analyzing information about the wants, needs, and preferences of consumers. Say you wanted to open up a lemonade stand, what would you want to know about your potential customers before spending your startup money? And how would you get this data? Well, you would have to do surveys, what area you want to open up your business. You want to do a survey and then run all your analysis and see if you would make profit in that area or not. If not, then you would have to start over and find another place to start a business. Business and you. Business impacts on you, providing goods and services to meet your needs and wants, provide jobs and wages. Your impact your impact on business decides what goods and services to buy. Decides where to buy them. And then your first activity, business and you. So you look at all your needs and wants, which we'll go back to for when I get back, and we can list all your needs and your wants. And then next we're going to do each item and write a business that would provide you with your particular wants that you want with particular wants and needs. And then you will present this with the class. So that's just a brief of your basic economic concepts, needs versus wants. Your key terms for this chapter for business activities you need to know is business. A business is any commercial activity that seeks profit by providing goods and services and others in exchange for money. Profit, the money left over after a business has paid the cost of providing its goods and services. Competition is the contest between businesses to win customers. Market research, the gathering and analysis of information on the size, location, and makeup of a product market. And then consumer, persons who uses goods and services. And then your academic vocabulary, analyze, to study or determine the nature to study to study or determine the nature and relationship of component parts. Respond, to react in response. Affect, to produce and effect upon. Modify, to make fundamental changes in order to give new orientation to or to serve a new end. Okay, and the other business key terms you'll need to know are: business is any commercial activity that seeks profits by providing goods and services to others in exchange for money. Profit, the money left over after a business has paid the cost of providing its goods and services. Competition, the contest between businesses to win customers. Market research, the gathering and analysis of information on the size, location, and makeup of a product market. And consumer, a person who uses goods and services. Academic vocabulary, analyze, to study or determine the nature and relationship of component parts. Respond, to react in response. Affect, to produce an effect upon. Modify, to make fundamental changes and often to give a new orientation or to serve a new end. Which all these will be in your workbook, in your guided practices on page. So everything, all the key terms that we went on to, you will need to go onto the online, onto glencoe.com to take these assessments when you get time. You'll have until the end of the week to get it done. So just, you can take them, and whenever you want to take them, you can take them. You can go home and take them, or however you want to do it. So the discussion starter on page 12. Just please take a few minutes right now to read that, and I'll get back to you any questions you might have on that. So I'll give you a few minutes, couple of minutes to read that as well. And then once you're done that, then go ahead and read on the reading strategy. Create a table, which is on page 12 as well, in your textbook or your online textbook. And then go ahead and read the Science to Teach trends, page 12. Read that one. And then skill practice, guidance practice, page 13. And then we'll discuss the photo on page 13 when we'll go more in detail when I get back. So go ahead and look at those for the next 5 minutes, and I'll get back to you. The substitute, if you have any questions, you can access sub, and I have the lesson plans with a sub if you have any questions at this point. So go ahead and review those information now, and I'll get back to you for the next discussion topic. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can email me, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But like I said, I'll have a full-on one-on-one discussion on all this again. It's kind of awkward doing a video presentation because you only can, I can't really interact with you guys at this point, ask questions or gain any feedback. So this is just to get you a head start on this next chapter section, and that way you don't have any you to have something to do, and go that way. The substitute doesn't have to come up with any ideas or doesn't understand my lesson plan, which usually sometimes happens. But just remember though, you want for your needs and wants, just make a little list, and then we'll go back to it. You want to make sure what are what are your wants and what are your wants and what are your needs, and then you'll just make a list of whatever on there. Well, I guess you can start it now, or you can just do it later once you get all this done. And then we'll go more into the decision making process as well. Just a reminder to make sure that you guys completed your basic economic concepts that look at needs and wants, the reading activity. I'm still missing some um, work from some new students, so please make sure to get that turned in by as soon as possible. Otherwise, it's going to be a 0. Any questions? Just email me, and we'll work out something for you guys. Or if you need more help, I can answer your questions by email or wait until I get back. If the substitute, if the students have any questions, make sure to try to help them with the best you can. Okay. Really appreciate this for short notice. So thanks. And also make sure you guys are doing the access and in the on the internet, because those are part of your grades. Last time a lot of you um, did not attempt to do your accesses, or you just didn't you blew your mind, and that was part of your test assessments before of the real test. So that's part of your test scores, assessment scores as well. So don't take light on not doing those assessments. And then the practice test gives you just extra practice to make sure that you're understanding what you do. If you have any questions, let me know. And then everything that I discussed, your key terms, your academic, it should be in your workbooks. If not, you can go online and get them off into your student online as well. If you don't, if you're planning on trying to get online, let me know, and we'll take it. Because everyone should have a password and user code by now, able to get in and out of it. It's just way easier just to do it online, and then I can just grade it faster, and then whatever. And if you need to retake it again, we can work out some kind of a deal or to retake it or just go over the materials again to make sure you understand what you missed or didn't hear, I just want to make sure you guys understand the material before the test, the chapter test, because that's going to be the majority of your grade. This will be a 100-point test. So, just to let you know, that'll probably be in the next week or so after over chapter 1, sections 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And then at the end of the thing, we'll go ahead and start. We'll discuss your homework assignments for the end of the week. Homework assignments I'll give you till usually to the end of the week to get them all done. If there's something that's coming out like a school activity, let me know, and then we can either have it done earlier or maybe we can just give an extension one more day. I'm pretty lenient, so I know how school activities are, so. Oh yeah, then don't forget to to watch those online learning centers podcasts. It's just to give you more understanding of what I'm discussing, and it puts more into you know how the real world works in the job. So just go through all those podcasts. Online learners with the podcasts. Any online resources are very important to look after. And then I may give extra credit points for just watching this podcast if you complete them by the specific time. Okay, so you guys had enough time to try to read some of it. If you didn't get time to finish the reading right now, you probably can just go back later and tonight when you take it home and read it, or we can just go back. We can read it when I get back again, or just work this out. We'll go through all this again. I just want to throw all this out there and start giving you guys an understanding of what's going on next for the next chapter, for the next section. So make sure in your on page 14 in your writing, your independence practice, make sure to do that one as well. And then, like I said, all these will end up working in class, or it will be as homework as well. Some might take a little bit longer, so I might have to negotiate some of the due dates on it. So we might have until like the middle of next week to get all this done. Then don't forget to do the cooperative learning on page 14 as well, and also read the Business Week Reader and case study, which is on page 14. And then also the Student Activity Workbook section, 1.2 section, page 5 and 8, that's in your workbook. Make sure to take a look at that and complete that as soon as you can. And then your critical thinking diagram on page 15, make sure to go through that one and understand it, and then we'll go back and review it when I get back in class on next class period. If I'm still gone, we'll just have the substitute rehash everything, or just start working on some of your activities on these pages, and then that's what we'll call good for this week. Not sure how long this cold's going to last me, but hopefully it won't take me out the whole week. Then make sure you do your accesses after you read the page 10, then do your online tool as well, and on your textbook, glencone.com, and do your practice tests, and then do the study to go as well. And that's going to be everything for this week's lesson plan for this week. Like I said, a lot of this might have to take some time to do it, so that's fine. So, does anybody have any substitute has any questions or anything? Ask students now. Otherwise, I will move on and I'll do another presentation as well. No, we're just going to take a little review for what we learned last section. Just a lot of you um, might have missed the first section. So we're going to take a little quick review on this first section. So on chapter 1 of basic economic concepts, section 1.1, I'll look at wants and needs. Well, wants and needs divide the economy. A want are things that you do have to have to survive, but would like to have. You know, I want this. Like, well, I want a brand new phone, but you really don't necessarily need a new phone. You don't really need it to survive with it. But your needs to survive. You need to have you know food, water. To make sure that you're gonna live. So, rehashing again, a want, things that you do not have to survive, but would like to have. Your iPod, TV, radio, computer, you know, Jordans, your tennis shoes, and others. Those are just all wants that you gotta have. Oh, I want that new dress, or I want that outfit. Those are just wants. Your needs, the needs are what you need to survive. Your basic needs are food, water, shelter, and clothing. And you can't live without that. Otherwise, you're not gonna live. So you have things that you need to survive in life. So sometimes you might have to sacrifice what you want in order to what you really need. Public wants versus private wants. So the public wants are shared by many people. For example, highways, libraries, and parks. Private wants are common amongst people but may not be shared. For example, cars, CDs, and DVDs. So like public wants, people don't want you to don't want you to share like the highways, or they don't want you to share. You got to you got to share the highways to get to work. You got to share the libraries. You got to share the parks with the people. Those or if you want to share, other like a swimming pool, you have to share that as well. That's a public want. Private wants are things that people actually have. So if you own like a an iPod, or a car, those are private wants. Nobody can ever take that away from you. Okay, so in sacrificing wants and needs, businesses provide goods and services to satisfy wants and needs. Goods are physical products, telephones, groceries, etc. It goes on and on. Telephones, groceries, your cell phone bills, physical product needs. Services takes that business performance for consumers like lawn maintenance, automobile repair, deliveries, etc. Like I said, if you have any more questions, I'm just doing a quick review from last chapter because that way you'll have everything on this video if you need to refer back to it, or um, if you need to ask me, we can go back together and discuss this a little bit more in detail if you need more help on it. Because some of you guys didn't really understand most of this stuff on the test, so it's going to come again on the chapter 1 test. So just a reminder, this stuff does not go away, so you really do need to know this. How resources limited in abilities to satisfy wants and needs. Resources, items that people can use to obtain what they need, like money, fuel, labor. Resource limited the number of needs and people and wants people get. So if you only have enough money for one thing, but you want two things, you're limited by your resources and your money. So if you don't have the proper resources to pay for something, then you're not going to be able to get it. Otherwise, you might have to go out and try to steal it, but stealing is not really a good thing to do. So it's better just to go find, save up for it and then buy it at a later time. So marking the most of your resources. Every day you choose how you will use your resources to satisfy your wants and your needs. Make these decisions very carefully. The better the choices you make, the more your resources can get you. And then here's just a rehash of the decision making process, which we just went over. Step one, identify your situation. So your situation can be like, well, it can be any situation. We can say, I need a new car. I need to buy a new car because the one that I have currently right now it's beyond repair and it's going to cost me more than what I could buy for a new one. Step number two, identify possible courses of action. Well, you got to weigh your options. So, for example, well, a new car is going to cost you maybe at least 20 grand compared to to fix your car. For example, if you need a new motor in it, it might cost maybe 10,000 to put a new motor in your car. So you might have to weigh your options. Do you want to spend more, or trade in the car and make it, you know, trade in for a new car. But thing is, you're gonna have a car payment, for the next 4 or 5 years. Now, step number three: determine the pros and cons. Well, yeah, you have to, what are your pros and cons? Well, if I had to buy another car, and I would have to weigh up my options. Do I really want a car payment, or would it just be easier for me just to make the repairs and then just pay it off by credit card, and then within maybe I'll have it paid off in about a year and a half or 2 years, compared to me buying a new car, which might take me 5 to 6 years to pay. So, you have to weigh your options, the pros and cons of a car payment. For step four, make a decision. You have to make a decision. Well, for example, well, I really don't want a car payment, so I'm just going to go ahead and fix it and borrow the money on my credit card, and I'll just make the monthly payments on my credit card, or borrow the money for the bank, which which might be wiser, but each person's gonna make their own decisions. And then later, evaluate your decision. Well, sometimes your decision you make might not have been the right choice at the time, but you thought, well, I didn't want to buy a new car right away, so I just want to go ahead and fix it. So what might happen is you fix it, and then something else goes wrong with it. Then he's like, well, shoot, and I should have went ahead and then traded in for another vehicle. So there's going to be, drawbacks to, your decision. Your personal and business decisions making process. Personal steps in determining what orange, like for example, steps in determining what orange juice you buy compared to steps involved in buying a car. So it's going to be cheaper to buy orange juice and then in order, compared to buying a car, or a car payment is like what for? It's going to run you $300 to $400 a month plus insurance. So it's gonna, and then you have to register it. So you got plates fees on top of that too when you buy a new car as well. So businesses, how to efficiently and effectively use their resources, which is um, important as well. Um, businesses have to learn how to efficiently and if they are making products, they have to make sure they have the resources to make those products. If they don't have enough of that resources to make it, then they're not going to be able to to make the demand for the supply. If it's a really great product to make, if they're going to sell it and they can't, the resources, if they run out of resources, then people are going to get mad, and then, that might affect the businesses as well with the profits. So then business will have to rebound and try something different, and maybe try another type of resource. All right, so for your chapter 1, section 1 homework sessions, which should have been done last week, make sure you typed out all your definitions for chapter 1, which you don't have to. Make sure you guys have the printout sheets. You really don't have to. Everything should be in. Make sure you did your graphic organizer, which is on your template in your online online on your online textbook. Everything's in there, and then complete your reading activity as well. Make sure you read your chapter, because everything I'm giving you are just the summaries of the chapters. But if you read the chapters in detail, then you'll get a better understanding of what's what the chapter is telling you. So so I would say if you guys have any outstanding homework, go ahead and get that in. I'll go ahead and give you anything you missed on section 1.1. Go ahead and turn it in by the end of the week. I'll give you either partial or full credit for it, depending what your situation was, why you didn't turn it in. Because there's still a lot of, I was looking through the grade book, and there's still a lot of people who didn't do all those. So please do those, because it does affect your grades. And I don't want anybody to fail this. This class is not that difficult. So please just, if you have any questions, just come to me and we can just work this out, and just get those done. I know this is only an elective course, but still, it's just fun. Some of you guys might want to go into business once you go to college. So this is just fundamentals, basics. And this is just the start. There's a lot of different business subjects in the business course, in high school, which you can take. So once you start learning to understand all this, everything else, you take accounting and everything, it's going to make sense to you how everything works and everything. There is a business plan project in the workbook and online, so make sure you look through that, and we'll work on that in class this week or next week. I think it might be a day or two, but if you guys want to start on it, go ahead. If not, we can start doing it in class once I get back, after I get everything rehashed in. Make sure you guys understand what you're doing. I would think that the chapter 1 test will probably be the end of next week, Friday. I'm aiming for. But that could change. I really don't want to give tests on Mondays, because most students don't study on the weekends for their tests. And when it comes to Sunday night, oh, I forgot there's a test on Monday, and then you guys are just gonna cram for it. And so I want to make sure it's during the week, during the school week before. So I like to give them on Fridays, and that way it ends the week, and then we start off fresh on Monday. So any questions, just let me know, and we can just go back to that. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be working on that business plan worksheet project when I get back, and then we're gonna be working on the activity workbook as well, and then we're doing the Unit 1 resources pass file, which was the chapter term. So please, look at those. Do the online activities in your online thing. Please do all. It just only helps you improve to understand this information. Your homework is just to read the chapter books and review everything that I went over, and then we'll just go back over in class again. I will post this video on my website if you want to go back and review it again, or if you missed my class today. The sub will let you know that there is a video to be watched either when I get back, or you can just watch it when you your time when you're at home, because it's easy. I'll have it on uploaded by the end of the night. So any questions, guys? Let me know, and we will rehash everything I discussed today, and I'll go further details if we need to. If we need to break it into a couple more days for all this information I discussed, we can do that as well. So I just wanted to get this information out there. That way you guys know what's going to come this coming week. So hopefully I'll be better in the next day or two. If, hopefully I'll only be gone a day. But if not, well, I will leave um, plans with a substitute of what to do. So but for your what to know, just work on the activities like I told you. Go on to use the computer in class or the laptops provided and do them on there, so you can get those done as soon as possible. So let's have a good week, and hope to see you guys again pretty shortly. Have a good day.